What makes a man really amazing in bed? I asked all of my female clients what it is they thought guys needed to know to be able to give a better sexual performance. Now, I know that YouTube can be a little bit sensitive about the S word. So I'm going to do my best to be considerate and not use that word to describe a perfectly natural human act. So today, whether you like getting laid, making love, tapping ass, shaking sheets, jumping bones, knocking boots, or doing squat thrusts in a cucumber patch, this is a video that you need to watch. Tip number 1, guys. Whether you like shagging, screwing, nailing, boning, banging, dawdling, boinking, porking, yensing, tromboning, or stupping, you need to understand that great lovers pay very close attention to the way a woman heats up. You see, when things start to get hotter and hotter with a woman, you're kissing, you're making out, things are getting more and more interesting, you'll notice that women behave differently. They're constantly giving you subtle cues as to the way they like to be aroused, the way they like to be touched. Either being soft and sensual and quiet and slow, either being aggressive and biting and scratching. Are they nibbling on your neck? Are they kissing your ear? Are they licking your ear? Are they scratching your back? Are they gently rubbing you while you touch them? Pay attention to these cues because women will touch you and treat you in the way they want to be made love to. And great lovers follow these signs and make women feel like they understand her body. Number 2. Now, whether you are riding the bony express, pressure washing the quiver bone in the bitch wrinkle, doing the pants off dance off, oscillating the unmentionables, or playing with the box the kid came in, you need to understand that a lot of women really like it rough. But one thing that came up a lot in the feedback from women is that many guys are too afraid of breaking them. They're in the habit of being gentle, especially the guys who you would more consider nice guys, decent guys who aren't just looking for a one-night shag. These are the guys who very often they're too gentle, even though she wants it nastier, she wants it rougher, she wants it more extreme. So you need to be paying attention to her. Start to be a little bit more aggressive. If she responds well, you can go harder until she asks you to hold back. Don't be afraid of it. Too many women are begging for this kind of time in the bed and they're just not getting it. Tip number 3, if you are organ grinding, parking the beef bus in Tunatown, using a telescope to explore a black hole, launching the meat missile, or jerking it where she is twerking it, you've got to understand that many women like it to be passionate and slow. This was the second complaint that I got that was really interesting because a lot of women have the experience that too many men are trying to perform. They're trying to put on an act. They've seen what they've seen in porn and they go bam, 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 straight away really hard. And she's sitting there feeling like, I need to warm up. I need this to feel more close, more passionate, more sensual. And the guy's going away like he thinks he's some kind of porn star. So pay attention to what her body's telling you. If she's looking uncomfortable, slow down. Because a great time in bed is not always look like a gorilla beating on a toddler. Sometimes it's loving and sensual, and that's exactly what she wants. But you'll never know if you don't pay attention. Number 4. Now this isn't one that was supplied to me by the women, but I absolutely needed to mention it in this video. Because if you are wetting the willy, doing the matrimonial polka, bumping uglies, going heels to Jesus, or violating the prime erective, if a woman says to you, you don't need a condom, you absolutely need a condom. Because it's not just about avoiding pregnancy, it's avoiding getting disease. And the babies can be the worst disease you could possibly have if it's not with someone you want to be with. And I would never, ever trust women who tell you that, especially if things are just starting on a casual basis. It's a thing that I've always honored since I was in my 20s, just getting started with this stuff. And it's the biggest piece of advice I give to all my clients that I work with. Tip number 5. Suppose you've been bodging, boffing, boinking, bone storming, cave diving, or dinky tickling, and she says, don't stop. That means continue doing exactly what you're doing. It doesn't mean speed up. It doesn't mean slow down. It certainly doesn't mean go as hard as possible right now. Because for a lot of women, getting to the O point is tricky and difficult and requires her to get the exact right kind of stimulation at the right moment. And when she says don't stop, it means you've got the spot. Don't change a thing. And that's the thing a lot of guys get wrong. They get excited, like, oh, she's getting there. And they start to change everything. And then she loses the moment. And it's really frustrating for a lot of women. Now, I know a lot of guys get very anxious when it comes to how well they perform in bed. And they want to leave her with an incredible impression. But whether you are putting the wand in the chamber of secrets, getting a bit of crumpet, a bit of how's your father, a bit of the old in and out, or taking the old one eye to the optometrist, you need to stop being so obsessed with different positions. See, a lot of guys think that if I can show her 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different positions, put her leg up there, her arm over here, stick her kneecap on that counter over there, somehow that's going to make you an amazing lover. But it's distracting and it's complicated. And most of the time, for most women, you can get a really amazing job done sticking with the basics. The missionary, the cowgirl, and the doggy style. These are all you need to get the job done. Yes, there are more creative things to do, but don't become obsessed with positions. If a woman wants something different, most of the time she's going to tell you. Tip number 7. Something that a lot of guys find insanely frustrating is just as they're about to rummage in the root cellar, roast the broomstick, release the kraken, pound the punani pavement, sour the kraut, or tickle her tummy from the inside, she all of a sudden changes her mind. She loses interest. Things go cold. Just when you thought you were completely in, everything goes awry. And the reality is, this can happen for many reasons, but one of the biggest is hygiene. A lot of women can be really attracted to you until she gets close and smells you, smells your body odor, smells your breath, sees bad grooming, sees gross, dirty nails. These things can really turn a lot of women off and will cause them to think, not right now, not with this guy, I'm suddenly not feeling it anymore. And that creates a lot of frustration for guys and girls alike because they were in the mood too, and you just lost them because there's something you could have so easily fixed. Tip number 8, and this is something that almost all women agreed on. If a man wants to be really, really good at shrimping the barbie, shucking the oyster, slamming the clam, planting the parsnip, slapping sloppies, or doing the devil's dance, he needs to start to embrace foreplay. For a lot of women to get in the mood, when they say they want it to last a really long time, a lot of that time is foreplay. It's the stuff that happens before the act occurs. You are going to be remembered as a far better lover if you invest 40 minutes of foreplay and then 20 minutes of the actual deed, than if instead you gave her 5 minutes of foreplay and 55 minutes of the actual deed. And too many guys don't value it enough. And the great thing is that once you really start to enjoy the act of foreplay, the experience for you as a guy is going to be so much better. You can thank me later or in the comments below. Point number 9 is something that every woman begged me to include in this list. You see, if you are tossing a hot dog down a hallway, groping for trout in a peculiar river, bringing an al dente noodle to a spaghetti factory, or shampooing the Wookiee, if you are using pornography as inspiration for being better in bed, that makes just as much sense as watching Fast and Furious as a way to learn to be a better driver. It's not going to impress anyone, and probably someone's going to get hurt. Too many guys use porn as an inspiration for what it's supposed to look like. And for most women, this is not an enjoyable experience. The type of intercourse we see in porn usually frustrates, hurts, or just plain annoys women. You don't want to be in that habit. And apparently, too many guys are. Now guys, what would be really, really amazing is that if you've loved this video and you're a guy who absolutely loves slamming the clam, glazing the donut, giving the dog a bone, getting your Twinkie stinky, doing the four-legged foxtrot, fishing for kippers, filling her out like an application, fidgeting the midget in Bridget, feeding the kitty, exploring Punania, dinking the dingus, doing the dipsy doodle, creaming the Twinkie, crashing the custard truck, christening the yak, bruising the beef curtains, or cleaning the cobwebs with a womb broom, then a like would be absolutely sexy. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've got something of value. I tried to make it fun, but the advice here is very serious and very genuinely given by amazing women. I hope you've loved this video, and I look forward to seeing you in my future ones.